decisions.
Let's quickly move swiftly into some other matters. So if you can see, we'll show you some highlights of the ages and some of the things that are to do with the names on this list. Oh, well, you can see that it goes there. All ministers were born in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So then it means that if you were born in the 70s and the 80s, there is no representation for you here on the list. As far as the 21 names are concerned, okay, this is what we have. 11 are in the 50s, just like Julia said. 7 are in their 60s. Only 2 in their 40s. No minister was born in October and November. Well, all that because something very interesting will come out of that. An average age is 53 years.
And that's important because the average age during the 2011 period as well was about 53. So what we have right now is, in strict terms, this average age shows the average age during 2011, 53. What we have right now, based on the 21 list that we've seen, the average age on that list is 56. Some might say, yes, there's no difference between 56 and 53, even though the average age is significantly 3 years between what we had in 2011 and what we have right now. But the challenge is, the oldest person in 2011 that was on that 34-man list or 34-member list that was presented, the oldest person was 66. That was Bello Muhammad. Right now, the oldest person on this list is 68, Audu Ogbe. Yeah. So what we see is, there are 2 areas that are very important. First is, it's getting more difficult for us to have young people, and it's getting easier for us to have older people as ministers.
All right, just a moment now. If you are a youth and you have your concern that you do not have a proper representation as far as the President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet nomination is concerned, well, take a moment, allow the women to listen to this, because this is very important. Well, we've been talking about women participation, but in this you might be just being disappointed. Well, there are 18 males on this list, and just 3 of them are females, and it brings you to this percentage. Very, 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 very disappointing for some people. They have been talking about it, isn't it? Percentage of women on that list is 14.
And that's significant. If you look at the president's official Twitter handle at M. Buhari, specifically on March 14, he had tweeted that his government was going to focus, among the things he was going to do, focus on gender equality. I don't know what part of the world you might come from, but looking at these figures that we have right now, looking at the current list of 21 people and looking at what we really have, there doesn't seem to be gender equality. There doesn't also seem to be equality for the youth. So 2 areas that we're concerned about, gender equality and youth participation in this government.
Just maybe we have 21 now to complete 36. We're looking at, in the list of 10 more names, just maybe all of those names are going to be women and youths.
Possibly, but
just maybe.
Possibly, but that will be speculating because we do know that the president wants to reduce the size of his cabinet. So though we have 21 right now, we're not so sure if we'll be seeing 10 additional names or just 5 names or maybe 15 names.
Or about 15 names.
Possibly 15 names. But looking at what currently has happened, we see that there are significantly more men and significantly more older people. 7 people in their 60s, 11 in their 50s, only 2 in their 40s.
All right, if you're a woman and you're thinking, well, this is disappointing, we're not well represented, well, don't fret, because the full list is not yet out. But so far, we're making sense of the 21 names that we have now. Well, let's move on to some other issues that pertaining to this. Well, just to break it down further for you to understand. There are 4 former senators, 5 former governors. Well, 15 states are not yet represented, as you can see, yet, to meet the constitutional requirement for the composition of the president's cabinet. That means, well, some of you who are thinking that who is going to represent our state, wherever you may be watching us from, and wherever part of the country or the world you may be watching us from, just hold on a moment. You will have your own representation, but in the meantime, 15, well, is what we have not yet represented. Who are those and who will they be? But this gives you an understanding. If 9 out of 21 are big-time former politicians, that tells you something, that we have in some level of heavyweight kind of cabinet in President Muhammadu Buhari's formation of his team.
clearly we have heavyweights in this cabinet, especially if you even look at the distribution of the senators currently. We have 60 senators in the APC compared to 49 senators in the PDP, and a lot of the senators are from the north. So out of the 60 senators we currently have from the APC, 46 of these senators are from the northern part of Nigeria and 14 from the south. So clearly we see a lot of heavyweights when we look at the pedigree, but when we look at their age, especially looking at how youthful we expect. And the reason why age is sometimes quite important is the innovativeness of their thinking. We sometimes will think that when you become much older, you tend to take less risks and you tend to be a bit less innovative.
All right, you just might be thinking, oh wow, where are these guys getting all these facts from? And you're enjoying yourself where all these facts are coming. Well, we give you more facts, but we take a moment. Jide Ogunsanwo Iswe was on the program. I will dig more into some of these facts, but I still have some other guests on the program who are going to be giving us perspective on the program. For a moment, we pause on the analysis and we take a break to dive into the matter, and we introduce our guests on the program. But just before then, stay with us. We'll be right back.